Greetings to you. On today's episode, we dissect Beyonce's new album, Act 2 or 1. We don't know.
Cowboy Carter.
We're going to talk about P. Diddy. He in a hot mess trouble. He's in a hot mess of trouble. And then LGBTQ victory in Washington State. But I guess we shouldn't be surprised about that one.
No.
Let's go. Episode 71.
Bam, 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 bam.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Hey there, welcome back into studio here of Manny and Sean's house. This is the Manny and Sean Experience podcast.
Welcome back, ladies, gentlemen, theys, thems, she, hers, he, hims. We are glad to have you with us for
Does that
another
cover
episode.
non-binary people? Yes.
I said they, them.
Oh, okay. I didn't hear that part. Sorry.
Anyway, welcome back to another episode. I hope you enjoyed the unhinged episode that was number 70.
It wasn't unhinged. It was fun.
It was very much unhinged.
You're welcome.
We're gonna.
I still haven't seen it.
I want to say it's gonna be rained in today, but who knows?
It's going to be random.
What's going to rained in?
Oh,
Focus.
are you saying that right?
What?
Rained in?
Rained, like when you rain something in.
Oh, okay, I'm hearing rain.
Rain.
Rain on me.
And we have begun. How are you doing? You jet lagged?
I'm still jet lagged from traversing all the way from Boston, Massachusetts.
I mean, you were delayed 3 times, so I think it's fair to say jet lag.
Yeah, first of all, the trip was very quick and furious. And then I stayed up way too late on Tuesday with my colleagues. I was in Boston for work. And, Tuesday was our, team building function. And I had a little too much to drink.
What did you drink?
I had a mango seltzer before I left the hotel.
That was a vodka seltzer.
Yes. Well, that's important, I guess.
I mean, you just say seltzer and people are like, oh, you had a White Claw.
Ew, gross.
Exactly.
Then I used to drink those, but ill gross still.
Did used to drink those. I was like, what?
Then they had an espresso martini. So I'm like, ooh, anytime somebody advertises an espresso martini, I'm like, let's try this. And then as I ordered it, I'm like, there's no espresso machine back there. It was disgusting, but I drank it. And then I finished the night with just a couple of margaritas.
Okay.
Fun times. We stayed up late talking. And then, I picked a good flight, I thought. Departed Boston at 2. Arrived into Tampa by like 6. So just in time for dinner. I arrived into Tampa at 11:57 that night. Didn't get home till probably almost 1, in bed by like 2.
That was fun.
It was a lot of fun. It was great. It was a great way to end a work trip.
You had to work the next day.
And I'm still tired. How are you?
Blessed and highly favored. I'm good. This week has been busy. I'm glad it's Friday. Beyonce has dropped a new album, so I'm happy.
Cowboy Carter to you, sir.
This is where I am.
Well, I'm glad your week wasn't as eventful as mine. Let me tell y'all, I had to get off that plane twice. They boarded us once. Then they're like, just kidding. We got out. They boarded us again. Then I'm like, oh, sure, we'll get home around 8. Cool. They took us off the plane again. First of all, they left us on the plane for an hour, which is allowed by FAA now. And then they just, they've been out here enough. We got to take them out before we owe these motherfuckers any kind of money.
They did give you $12.
They gave me $12. They did roll out a snack cart. So you could get Cheez-Its and something else, and they had sodas. I didn't go get that. I'm like, whatever. People have like touched everything. It was an ordeal. I don't know why I went back to the story. Let's go into the mixtape.
Yeah, let's do that.
You're in the mix.
Hey, welcome back to the mixtape.
Yes, welcome back.
Why did you look at me weird?
I don't know. Oh, because I forgot to say in our cold opening that I hope everybody's out there. How's everybody out there doing? And I hope that you're doing well. So I just wanted to insert that into the podcast.
Thank you so much for caring about our audience.
Yeah, I was just worried about telling you about my plane trip.
So we're going to talk about Cowboy Carter first.
Cowboy Carter, act numero dos.
Act number 2.
And we're not going to, the whole podcast ain't going to be that. So calm down before you turn us off.
Yeah, we're not doing a track by track analysis like we did for Ariana's album. At least not this episode.
Not this episode. And I really, before we even jump in, like, give it a chance. Whether you like country or you don't like Beyonce, give it a chance. The body of work, 5 out of 5 stars.
5 out of 5.
5 out of 5.
Yeah, I agree. Like I said in previous pods, when I first heard that she was on a country album, I was a little worried about reception. And after hearing Texas Hold'em and 16 Carriages and really vibing with those songs, I was like, hey, I'm ready for this. And then when she said, this is not a country album, it is a Beyonce album, and it's a continuation of Renaissance, it made me even more excited about what this album was going to give. And listening to it today, I've listened to it twice. It is giving everything.
I think I'm at 4.
You listened to it 4 times?
I think so.
Look at you. And you were not quick on the Renaissance train. Well, I mean, in fairness, Bad Bunny had just put out an album too.
Yes, it was Un Verano Sin Ti. Okay? We were like, Beyonce, what? I ain't here for no Renaissance.
But you caught...
I did catch up with Renaissance, especially leading up to her tour.
Yes.
And now I have quite a few songs on my playlist.
Yes. So just, what was it, 2 days ago? She put out the track list for the album. And we saw 27 titles, and I was like,
y'all know, Sean don't do 20 plus titles.
Girl, I don't do albums that are longer than like 15 songs unless you mean a lot to me. And of course, I was going to give Beyonce the grace. And, it didn't even feel like an hour and 20-something minutes listening to it.
No, it didn't. I think there's so much going on in the album that it draws you into it.
Yes. And I guess we should say that not all of them are songs. Like
some are interludes.
Some are interludes or little skits or little things in between songs to introduce what's coming next.
Mm-hmm. Yes, correct. Thank you for explaining interlude.
Girl, shut up. But anyway. Beyonce put out a press release.
Because Beyonce don't do interviews.
Because you don't do interviews.
She's like, gather these notes. She's like, do your news story.
I'm going to talk to you how I want to talk to you. And this is it.
Exactly. No question.
She basically explained, this album was 5 years in the making. How it was her experimenting with different sounds, different genres, and different guests on the album. What?
Features, not guests.
Oh, I can't explain interludes, but I can't say guests.
You explained interlude. I was just wondering why you were explaining interludes.
I wasn't explaining.
And now it's not a guest on a song, it's a feature on a song.
Okay, I'm going to cut this part out.
Wow, this is hilarious.
Anyway.
See, whenever I rub your buttons, I'm going to cut him out when he's rubbing my... when he rubs my butt, he leaves that shit right up in the pocket.
When do I rub your buttons?
Anyways, this is not time for a domestic, all right?
Oh, Lord. She explained why she called the album Cowboy Carter. saying that she took it from, you know, back in the day, Black slaves would be called cowboys because they would be the one to take care of the cattle and clean them up and all of this kind of thing. So it was kind of a reclaiming of the word. She told us about some diving into the history of country and all of that stuff, but I won't bore you with that because I can already see Manny making a face. So let's just get into what songs we like.
I'm not making a face.
All right, so we're going to tell you what our highlights of the album are. I'm going to let Manny go first.
Well, I got to find my stuff. Go ahead and go.
So highlight for me, Blackbird.
Why Blackbird?
I like that it is a cover, and I like that she put some up-and-coming Black country artists on it.
Do you know they're up and coming, or are they just not well known?
Well, I did look at 3 of the girls' Instagram. A lot of them are newer to country. And
there's no tea.
There's no tea. I don't know them like that, but I went to their Instagrams just because she had them featured on here. I know the one girl, Tanner Adele, she tweeted out when she heard that Beyonce was doing a country album that she hopes that she would reach out to her or some of the upcoming Black artists to have them featured on the album, and she got on the album.
Girl, now you know if you want to be on a Beyonce album, just...
And some people were writing in her comments like, girl, that album been complete. You ain't gonna get on it, whatever. And then look at her.
Yeah, I mean, I would say a majority of it was complete, but I'm sure there was still things done in recent weeks and months that weren't done, or fine-tuning of the... I liked Protector. Thought it was a gorgeous ballad. There's a strong meaning behind it.
It
what
was...
did you think of that? Was that a highlight for you?
I did like it. It seems like it was dedicated to her daughter, Rumi. Blue has a song dedicated to her on a different album. So I thought this was really sweet about how she was talking about, you know, you're going to grow up and do your own thing, but I will be your protector, basically.
I like that. I did like her Blackbird as well. At first I didn't realize it was a cover. But once I realized it was a cover, I'm like, oh, okay. Which was interesting. I never thought I would see Beyonce doing a cover on an album.
And she does too on this album.
Yeah.
I guess that'll be my next highlight. It was Jolene, which is...
Jolene.
Lots of people have covered that song, but I really liked what Beyonce did with it.
Every American Idol contestant.
It was, to me, it's like a country version of Sorry, but
updated with 2024.
Yes.
Lyrics.
Yes. Still talking about Becky with the good hair, so her name is Jolene.
Yeah. Dolly Parton did an interlude there. That was cute, right?
Yes.
She was talking about that hussy. That hussy. When you were talking about that hussy with the good hair. I thought that was cute.
It was super cute.
Dolly Parton is so cute.
And she's on here twice.
Yes, she is. She's so cute. She's probably tired of everybody doing her damn song.
But she was very excited for Beyonce to do Jolene.
She was very excited. The album in general, which I'm sure she had probably heard when she put that snippet out.
Right.
But, an interesting song for me was Daughter.
Okay.
When she just goes into this opera, and I'm just like, where the fuck did this come from? Like, it was a country twang, and then all of a sudden she's like, oh, I can't do that. Anyways, did you find that interesting, or were you like thrown off? Like,
no, I did. But according to like her the press release, she did say that she experimented with not only country, but a little bit of pop, a little bit of opera. So that made sense when I read that. But Beyonce,
Beyonce
voice,
all on his mouth black liquor.
I mean, she can do the opera thing. She can go there. Like,
I mean, yeah, she showed us definitely on stage.
Yes. So it was a little surprising, but also it was like, she's just, at this point, I feel like she's just showing off, but like it fit.
Yeah. What else you got?
At the
Bird in the
jungle.
dead of night.
I would say, okay, so
That was bad.
2 songs, Spaghetti and Alligator Tears. They are, Spaghetti's first, Alligator Tears is after.
Spaghetti's the dance. The dance.
Yes. It's also a little short. But it was like, okay, I like this. I wish it was longer. And on my second listen, I really got into Alligator Tears, and I can't.
It's a ballad, right?
Alligator Tears. It's kind of ballady.
Okay.
I can't remember exactly what it was about right now, but those 2 stand out for me.
Because I don't see any notes there. Spaghetti 2, I thought was wild because it starts with the interlude, doesn't it?
Yes.
Talking about genres and whatever.
Yes.
And Beyonce said, I'm going to give you some country slang. It got real, the word I don't want to use, but I used last time. It got real urban hoodie on the country album. But that song is fire.
I like that song.
What would you say is the most fire song right now on this album to you?
I want to say Riverdance just because it is currently my favorite.
Riverdance is where the album really took a transition.
Yes. Actually, I would say it starts at Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
And then the rest of
Yeah.
I feel like the beginning of the album is like country, like what we're used to hearing as country. I feel like then it transitions into kind of like pop country or modern country.
Pop country is a thing, I think.
It is.
Yeah.
Look at Kane Brown and what Taylor Swift used to do.
Thank you.
And
Taylor Swift. Anyways, move on.
She used to do country?
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Oh, maybe I should have said American Idol girl. Underwood.
Carrie Underwood.
She does pop country.
Yeah, true.
And then I feel like we just transition into like a mixture of like trap, a mixture of hip hop, country, and Beyonce's country.
House music.
Yes. That's what I feel like we move into towards the end of the album.
Yeah. And I think we could be looking too much into it. I think that's the transition into Act 2. Well, the original Act 2, which would have been Renaissance. So you really start hearing a lot of tones that were used in Renaissance towards the end of the album, but still with a little bit of country in it.
Yeah, it's still very much country. I mean, Dolly Parton is in Sweet Honey Buckin'.
Yeah.
Well, no, she's in Tyrant. But Tyrant transitions into, like, all of the songs towards the bottom kind of transition into each other, just like in Renaissance.
Yeah. So it starts country, but really switches up throughout the album. And you feel it. It's not sudden. It's a very slight, it transitions. It's like moving from one island to another one at a theme park where the music transitions.
Yes.
At least that's how I feel when I listen to it.
What was your favorite?
I love Tyrant and Riverdance. But a song that really shocked me that I liked is Two Most Wanted featuring Miley Cyrus.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting to like Miley Cyrus's inclusion in this album, but I like that song. It's a good song. Not mad at it.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't hate Miley Cyrus.
I don't hate her either.
I think she's very talented.
I love A Party in the USA.
I feel like the song is just overplayed, but it just gives me palpitations to like cruises. But I know she's got a talent, and I was too a little like, really? You're featuring her on the album? No tea, all the tea maybe. But when the song came on, I was like, okay, you two bitches did that. Y'all did that.
Y'all did that. I also like the Post Malone song.
Oh, Post Malone. I love Post Malone.
Which, listening to that song again, or he's on Levi's.
Mm-hmm.
A very sexual song, but in a playful way.
Yeah.
And he's good on it too. I like Post Malone, so I was like, no issue there.
Post Malone, he's just one of those white boys that I really enjoy. I had a note here about Yaya. I know you kind of talked about it, but something that stood out to me. You tell me what you think.
Okay.
I felt like I heard infusions of country, R&B, disco, jazz, and some light rock.
I agree with all of those. A lot of people have been saying it gives a strong like Tina Turner vibe. And I see that for sure. I mean, she is rock. Yeah. She is a mixture of genres. So I totally see that in that song. Yeah. Along with the things that you named.
Oh, thank you for agreeing with me.
You're welcome.
So sweet. But no, I thought that was a really, like, again, I've said it before. I said it with Ariana's album. I listened to it musically first, and then the lyrics come around. And so I start picking up those things. So that's what drew me to Yaya first.
Okay.
Was the musical arrangements and all the sounds she used.
Which is something she talked about as well, is like, she said, in a world where we have like AI technology and synthesizers, she wanted to go back and use old instruments. So she said even the guitars they used, sometimes they were out of tune because it added a uniqueness to it. Also, she used her nails as percussion on some songs, kind of like Dolly Parton did in some of her songs. Yeah.
Yeah, there's one where you definitely distinctively, I don't know if that's her nail, but you hear the beat of the song, but it's like the country.
So she did a lot of that on purpose, she said.
I should have read the press release. There's a lot came out of that.
It did. She said a lot.
How many pages was it?
I don't know. Because I was looking for like the full thing, but everybody had it in an article and they would break it up and then they talk about it.
Can we talk about that? I fucking hate that. No, we can't talk about it. We got to move on. I put Two Hands to Heaven. Is that what it's called?
Two Hands to Heaven. Yes.
I just put wow.
It's a good song.
And it's probably not one of the songs that'll get the most plays on the album.
I don't know. I mean, go ahead.
Yeah. I just thought it was a beautiful arrangement. I feel like I was drawn to some of the ballads on this album, which is not normal for me.
I mean, that song falls in line with the bottom half of the album where it is more Renaissance-y. And what transitions into that before it?
I'm not sure.
Riverdance.
Oh, okay.
That makes sense. It's a beautiful song. Like that whole bottom half, I love. Not that I don't love the entire album. It's just that those songs.
It could almost be like disc 1 and disc 2.
It could be. It really could be.
Yeah. What did you think of Just for Fun?
Just for Fun, I felt like it was just for fun. When I read the title, I was expecting an upbeat song, but it's actually a slow ballad. And I like it too.
I put Beyonce gave us some country and took us to church.
Yeah, I see that.
Because there's a gospel choir in it.
She's always gonna take us to church.
So I thought that was there's just
So much.
This album, we were talking about it, and we're just scratching the surface of what we enjoyed. But there's so much history built in the album that we would need at least the whole hour just to talk about it. What she has crafted here, whether you're a Beyonce fan or not, I'm a Beyonce fan. I don't call myself a beehive. But this to me is one of those albums where you put on that shelf as it was thought out so well, from the way she crafted the music and her team. Obviously, I know she didn't do it all, but with her team, the music, the instrumentation, the arrangements, the meanings behind songs, the meanings of people that were included, whether in the interludes. It is one of those albums that I just can't say enough good things about it.
I mean, down to the artwork for the track list.
Yeah.
Like,
there's a history.
That was history behind that. And I don't know if you also knew this, but like, it is the American flag deconstructed as well.
I didn't.
I learned that today as well.
Why don't you tell our fine folks what is the historic element, though, of the way she presented the track listing?
Oh, so back in the day, during the Jim Crow era, Black artists had what they call the chitlin circuit, which you will hear on this. I don't know if it was Willie Nelson or Beyonce herself referred to it on the album. But that is the way their posters looked when they were performing at a rodeo. So that same style, she made her track list, her and her team made the track list look that way. So I thought that was really cool too, because I didn't know that. Yeah. That was another part of Black history that I have learned just because of this album.
Yeah.
On top of many other things.
Yeah, I found myself searching for a lot of things as I was listening, because I'm like there's an interlude. I forgot what it. Do you have the album up? I don't have the album
yes.
up. There's an interlude there that the Linda Martell show. I'm like, there's got to be something to this, right? So I Googled it, and it was she. Correct me if I'm wrong. She is a African American that tried to break into the country scene, and of course was met with racism and not so generous words when she was performing. So, like, there is history in this album. You could. I was telling Sean, I'm like, I think you could teach a class of this album and just dissect what comes out of it, not just musically, but also the historical tones that she's showcasing on the album.
Wholeheartedly agree. I feel like you could probably do the same with the Renaissance and house music. There were a lot of samples from house music on Renaissance, but even during the tour, during some of the interludes, she would play house music from some different artists from that time. So like, Act 1, Act 2, and I'm assuming Act 3 are all going to be history lessons. And I love that this is not just music, but it's also teaching people something.
100. And, you know, a lot of these things are being posted to TikTok, which we're trying to prevent people from using. I mean, that's all I really had on here. At the top of this, I put instrumentation and arrangements a fucking A+.
Yeah. I mean, musically, it's just a treat for the ears. And I can't say enough good things. Like, I never picture myself listening to country music like this.
From top to bottom.
From top to bottom. But it is a great body of work.
And people you can say what you want in the comments to me. It's fine. It's just my opinion. It might not be yours. It is probably one of the greatest albums of my lifetime. That's what I think. She just embodied so much into it musically. The people she invited on the album. I mean, her features. I used the word incorrectly as well. Thank you, Sean. It was just one of the greatest albums I think I've ever heard.
I just feel like there's something for everybody. Like if you like just straight up yeehaw, there's something for you. If you like a little R&B or ballads, there's something for you. If you want to pop that thing, there's something for you.
And I think what makes it even more connected into like greatness to me is like what I know followed Act 2.
Right.
Well, if it was released the way it should have been, we would have gotten Cowboy Carter and then Renaissance.
Yes.
Obviously, I can go back and put it back together. I can say Cowboy Carter Act 1 and Renaissance Act 2 because just piecing it all together is a masterpiece. I'm sorry. I will go and say that it's a masterpiece. There's not many times people like Bad Bunny's Un Verano Sin Ti, fucking masterpiece. There's just times where people put out an album where you're like,
masterpiece.
You fucking did that. You did that. You did that.
Yeah, you did. All right.
So that's it. Let us know what you think of Cowboy Carter. I love the house music shit. I'm starting to get into that. I don't know. Sorry. That was a random thought. Like those house parties in New York. Like I would say more undergroundish type of.
You want to go to one? You want to start one in Tampa?
I feel like I want to go to one. Like, yes, I want to go to one. But I mean, when I'm talking about house, I need you to watch a video of the house music that I am talking about.
Do you want to put a link in the description?
I will put a link in the description. I'm not talking about like some of these rave parties. Like, no offense. If you enjoy that, I love it for you.
You're not talking about EDM.
That's just that's not me. But I've been getting so deep into like these house music beats lately that I'm just like, this is my fucking vibe. Is this what happens when you turn 40?
Even on so many Virgin Voyages.
And then when Beyonce put that stuff in this album too, it's not as prominent in Renaissance. It's there, but it's not as prominent in terms of musicality. But she did it in this album. It just took me back. And I was like, I want to go to one of these parties now. And I don't think it'll vibe well in Florida. It's got to be in a small apartment in New York.
Okay.
Anyways, let us know what you think of Act 2 Cowboy Carter in the comments. We may do a separate episode. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens.
P. Diddy Combs.
His name is Love Combs.
Love Combs now?
Yeah.
Did he legally change it?
That was a while ago, but people still call him P. Diddy.
All right. Well, P. Diddy has been in the news and not for the good reasons. Watch this clip. Watch or listen to this clip. Do both.
This morning, Sean Diddy Combs firing back.
I thought I told you that we won't stop. I thought I told you that we won't stop.
Amid the firestorm of sex trafficking allegations, authorities raiding his homes in Los Angeles and Miami, the rapper now on the defense. His attorney calling it a witch hunt, telling ABC News there was a gross overuse of military-level force as search warrants were executed at Mr. Combs' residences. Those search warrants executed by dozens of Homeland Security investigators seizing multiple electronic devices. Agents descending on his Holmby Hills mansion in fatigues, briefly detaining two of Combs' adult sons, seen here wearing handcuffs. His attorney saying there is no excuse for the excessive show of force and hostility exhibited by authorities or the way his children and employees were treated.
So there you have it. Diddy has, I feel like rumors have always been swirling around Diddy for many, many years.
Yes, Diddy's been in some stuff since he started in the business, to be honest with you. As you heard in the clip, the feds have raided his LA home and his Miami home. It's Homeland Security. It's not just, the Popo.
It's the feds.
The feds are here.
Oh, insert Schitt's Creek clip.
Oh,
Mrs. Rose.
Those are hard to find. I don't know if you know this. They are hard to find. So he is being accused of a multitude of things, but the biggest thing that the feds care about is human trafficking and sex trafficking, especially of minors. Diddy has been accused of having these lavish, well, he calls them freak parties.
I mean,
where
it's in the name.
But he has been accused of drugging people, making other people have sex with people, recording it, and using that as leverage or extortion or whatever the case may be. All of this, I'm gonna say alleged because I don't want to get in trouble. But this is the reason.
I think Diddy's legal team is very busy. Yeah, they're not coming after you.
Right. They busy. They real busy. But yeah, I don't know what they were looking for. They knew what they were looking for, and they came a knocking to get it.
Yeah, it was wild. I was in Boston, and it happened while I was in Boston. And I'm like, what the hell is going on with Diddy? Like, they said he fled the country, which I believe that's unconfirmed. He was scheduled, from what I understand, to go out of the country for spring break. It's not like he's like, let's gas up the jet and get out of here. The feds are here.
But that's the way the news kind of made it seem. It was like, y'all love to sensationalize a story. Yeah, like, this is what's happening to him is juicy enough. You don't need to add more to it.
So he was actually getting ready to go away for spring break with his kids, I believe, when the raids happened at his homes. And I believe the feds got him at the airport or on the tarmac. Obviously, no flight can clear if there's somebody that has an active warrant for conversations with the feds.
Yeah.
This is wild because Diddy, like I said, has always been in the news for something or other.
Yes.
And I feel like people have ignored him for so much.
I don't know if it's that people have ignored him or it's just the fact that you are rich and famous. They usually can get away with things more easily than us regular old broke ass folks.
So, girl, he is being investigated, as Sean said, for all these things. It's wild because Sean found this timeline that NPR did, and it goes all the way into like the 90s.
Yeah, when he started. Like, there have been multiple gang rape allegations and lawsuits against him. He is currently fighting. Like, a lot of this stuff that's happening because of the feds is current stuff and not the old stuff. And I guess it kind of started with Cassie and her lawsuit against him.
Cassie is his former girlfriend and former artist that he signed.
Yes. And the stories that she has told publicly or that came out of that case are crazy.
Yeah, she said she was verbally assaulted, sexually assaulted.
Made to have sex with sex workers for Diddy's pleasure. Like, wild things.
Wild. I mean, the old interview with Usher resurfaced where he said that where he was, I guess, 13. I don't know what the hell.
I don't understand that either. Why would your parents let you stay with this grown ass man for a year
at 13?
At 13.
I mean, they maybe they're like, we want him to ascend to stardom, and
I get that, but like, also that's your child. Like, you don't know what's happening at this mansion.
Don't.
But then a lot of people don't care because apparently in that Nickelodeon documentary, that people are talking about, some of those parents overlooked, and I haven't seen it yet. I'm going to watch it. A lot of parents overlooked some of the things that were happening to their kids because they was on TV. Or the people were threatening them, saying, like, if you want your child to continue to work.
Insane. That's fucking insane.
It is insane.
Protect the kids, but you know, if he can get you a singing career. Anyways, Usher said he saw some things, and the reporter asked them, like, if you had a child.
Mm-hmm.
I guess he does have a child, doesn't he?
He does.
Would you send your child to a P. Diddy party?
And he said,
he said, absolutely not.
No.
So, I mean, it can only just give you a sense of what was going on in those parties. And so a lot to keep track of here on Diddy and what is happening. It really caught me off guard. Like I said, I knew he's always had some
Things.
allegations, men, women.
He's always been in some mess. Like from the Shine thing with Jennifer Lopez at that shooting to the Biggie shooting to people thinking that he was the reason Tupac got shot. Like, mess.
Y'all.
And now it apparently he is trafficking 50 Cent's baby's mother. That is the latest thing that came out.
He was paying her as a sex worker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's still human trafficking.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Or sex trafficking.
Yeah, that's that. But I have no words. It was in the news and I was just like, what in the hell, Diddy? Like, I guess the buck stopped. They're like, you know what? You're not going to pay me off. I'm reporting this.
I can't.
And apparently his mule got arrested too.
Yes. Which I don't understand. I was like, this squirrely little white boy is your drug and weapon mule?
Yeah.
Why? Is it because he's
Nobody would suspect him?
right.
Yeah,
Unassuming?
I don't know. It's a wild story, y'all. Google it. It is crazy. If you wanted to track some celebrity gossip news, this is going to be going on for a while.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Especially whenever they find out or they bring it, if they bring an indictment against him and then there's some kind of trial.
Will. They definitely will. It'll be faster than Donald Trump's indictment.
Can that man go away? Out here selling Bible.
Anyway, so Diddy is in the news, and that is it for Diddy today. One final thing I wanted to bring up, because it's our goal to always touch on an LGBTQ issue topic on the podcast. Washington State is now the 7th state to require LGBT. These aligners are killing me today. LGBTQ plus inclusive curricula in schools. A new law will ask public schools to teach the histories, contributions, and perspectives of marginalized groups.
Wow.
So, applause to the state of Washington. And one of the senators that wrote the bill that was put forward, contributions of gay Washingtonians, deserve recognition. And just as importantly, students deserve to see themselves in their schoolwork.
I love that. That should be something that happens nationally, not just state by state, but where we live. So at least it's not Russia where they are literally calling LGBT people extremists.
I think it was gay terrorist extremists or something like that.
Yeah.
Was it 2 people just got arrested and they could face up to 10 years? They were owners of a gay club. That's why they were terrorists, because gay apparently is terrorism now. But
anyway,
it was good news to see that Washington did that.
That is great news.
I think that's the side of the gay community that is not spoken about enough. The history, contributions, all we see is sex, 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 sex. Gay people spread diseases. Like, this is what the social norm show the world that the gay community is, where we should really be showing contributions, achievements, what we've done as part of history.
Exactly. And not be shunned and erased or try to be erased. We're just existing.
Yeah. The only 7 states in the U.S., that's probably the 7 liberal states in the
out of the 50, girl, 7.
There were some predominantly liberal places not on that list, but progress takes time, as President Obama used to say to us. But we have to have hope. But anyways,
it's hard.
That's going to conclude our mixtape. I don't think it was so unhinged.
No.
like last time?
No.
Okay.
I didn't say anything.
I still gotta go back and watch that video because I want to watch if it's really as unhinged as I felt it was. Let us go into what's your issue. Welcome back to what's your issue?
Your issue. What is your issue?
My issue today is actually an issue. My issue is politicians, right, left, center, green, purple, yellow. I don't know how many parties are out there nowadays. There's a forward party now.
About forward?
Forward. Forward.
What happened to the green one?
I don't know. It
Okay.
became red. I don't. Politicians, because I saw an article that talked about President Biden and his star-studded fundraiser, which include President Obama, President Clinton, and reaching $25 million from donors. And I know this is not, I am liberal, so I'm talking about Democrats here. But I know it's not just Democrats, because I also see you, Rifle Association, donating millions of dollars to Republicans. My issue is, and I was telling Sean this in the kitchen the other day, I'm just like, can you imagine what we could do with $25 million to help people out of poverty, to provide people food, to provide people the services they need? Now, I'll also say, I know people don't want help. There are people that live in misery and rather not receive the help that could be given to them. I'm talking about the true people that are facing huge financial difficulties, can't put food on the table, people who are homeless, and for example, here in Florida now being told that you got to go find somewhere to sleep that ain't outside. But there's no funding to help these people from not sleeping outside. So I just became livid of thinking that $25 million can be raised for one fundraiser. And that just counts as one. Trump does these all the time as well. Racks and millions. And I'm like, where the fuck is this money coming from? And why do we not put it for good? Instead of running a campaign for a year so you can become president for 4 years.
I mean, we know a lot of this money comes from donors. A lot of it comes from lobbyists, which I feel like is the worst thing about America, is that we allow companies and corporations to influence politicians by giving them money. I feel like a lot of politicians wouldn't have the stance they have on a lot of issues if they didn't have the pressure of, I need to return the favor to this certain group because they gave me this amount of money for my campaign.
Yeah.
And said, hey girl, hey, if you get on that stand, then you owe us.
Yeah. How about you fucking take that money and donate it to, I don't know, a homeless group that's trying to do good in the community, or a drug rehab center. Like, it just blew my mind how we just waste money. And you can cry about what the federal government does in terms of sending money overseas or whatever. That's a whole different story. I'm talking about pure people that are just going to donate hundreds, thousands of dollars because they want you in power. And then we turn around and we look and we're like, oh, people don't have health care. Oh, we have a bunch of people homeless. Oh, our jails are overburdened.
Or our public schools don't have enough funding. Or we're going to cut money from public schools to support this military bill because they need new weapons and planes and shit. And I'm just like, I don't understand how y'all care so much about fucking kids And yet y'all will take money that will go to schools and give it to the military.
Or other things.
Or other things.
I'm just like, my whole thing is about these donors. Like, put this money somewhere else. Put it where it's going to do good in the communities of people. Like, yes, I know corporations still donate, but you ain't donating at the tone of $1 million to have a plate to go see 3 presidents talk. Would I love to see President Obama talk? Yes. Have I seen him talk? Yes. I saw him for free, actually. I had to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. But like, let's start putting this money in good places. Stop wasting it on politicians. Like, this is my soapbox. And also, stop sending me emails asking me, can you spare a fucking dollar? No, I cannot spare a dollar for your campaign. I cannot. I'm paying my taxes and my bills so I don't end up homeless and then have nobody to support me or help me get out of being homeless. And then I can't sleep in the streets. So now I got to go find somewhere to sleep inside.
The fact that as America, we could come together and pull money from God knows where to pay for God knows what at any time. And yet every year we sit here and whine, there's no money for helping homeless. There's no money for helping mental illness. There's no money for school. There's no money for this and that. But
there's money to donate for.
Right. And all of a sudden, here's $20 million. Here's $30 million for you.
So that's my issue. I am just beside myself when I saw that. And I know it's nothing new to the world of politics, but it rubbed me so wrong because I know there's so many things that are just not going well in our country. But we're spending all this money to run presidential elections, whereas we can support better things in our world. Like, for example, here in our area, St. Pete has Pinellas Hope, which started as a tent city of land, I think designated for a Catholic church to run Pinellas Hope. It was tent city. They have now been able to acquire money to build indoor like dormitories, I think, kind of, for people to live in and start getting their life back together. Living there, being able to take a shower, being able to eat, and going into work. If you're homeless, you don't have anywhere to take care of yourself to be able to go out and work if you wanted to. It just rubbed me so wrong because, I don't know, maybe it's just the pinnacle of, I was very tired yesterday when I saw the article. And I'm just like, this money could be going to somewhere else. And again, I know it's Republicans, Democrats, Independents, all political parties are throwing around money like we don't need it for other things.
Right.
And then we got scam artists, con artists.
Yes. The greatest con man. That should be his movie title when they do one.
The biggest scam of the United States of America.
So Donald Trump has started selling Bibles for $60 a pop.
This is his new venture after tennis shoes.
After his shoes, which were $300 a pair.
$300 or $400.
Girl. This man has been asked. I remember when it was his first term and they asked him when he was at that convention, like, what is your favorite passage in the Bible? And he was like, I love them all. This is very private to me, so I'm not going to tell you. And I was like, you've never read the Bible a day in your fucking life.
Well, now he said he has lots of them.
And now you have lots of them for sale. And they're not just any Bibles.
No, he has lots of them in his house.
Girl, shut up.
That was what he said in his marker. He's like, he said, every American should have a Bible. I love the Bible. I have many, many, many Bibles.
So now he is selling a custom Bible called God Bless the USA Bible for $59.99, which you can purchase by going to his website or going to True Social, I guess.
The people selling it said they are not affiliated with a political party.
That's what they said?
Yes.
Okay. Well, how are you not affiliated with a political party if this man is the one out here hawking the Bible?
He's a spokesperson, I guess.
But that's the same thing.
Listen, I need you to listen to me. Okay. Republicans in my eyes we don't align politically a lot because of our differences. And that's fine. I can agree to disagree.
I can.
I cannot agree with anyone anymore on why you would support this con artist. I'm sorry. I cannot. I would be okay with Nikki Haley as president.
I would take her over him for sure.
Because let me tell you,
maybe over Biden.
If you're going to fall in his fucking trap of buying a Bible for $59.99, I need you to seek help. You can get a free Bible at your local fucking church.
You can get it at the motel.
You can go on to Amazon.com, and I found the cheapest Bible for $2.69 with 4.5 stars.
But it won't be the American US Bible.
The purpose of the Bible is the scripture that is in the Bible.
Okay, I want to read his quote that you kind of touched on.
Please.
All Americans need a Bible in their home, and I have many. It's my favorite book. Why do you have many?
You know, you need one in the office.
Shut up.
He's got a big house, so I mean.
It's a lot of people's favorite book. We have to bring Christianity back into our lives, into what will be, again, a great nation. Our founding fathers did a tremendous thing when they built America on Judeo-Christian values. Now that foundation is under attack, perhaps as never before. I'm so sick of y'all talking about Christianity is under attack. No one is coming for you. Y'all are coming for everyone else. This mind trick that y'all trying to do with these slow people, it might work on them. It doesn't work on us that have free will and free thinking. We know what you're doing. And you just out here milking these people for their money.
Milking it.
And as soon as you get in office, you know who's not going to reap any benefits from you being in the office? The same people that gave you $59.99 for that Bible.
Sure ain't. Because your taxes ain't going to get lowered. That's our issue. And again, listen, I can agree to disagree with Republicans all day. We can talk about policy and how we differ in those stances. But you cannot, I'm sorry, you cannot convince me that Trump is good for the country. You cannot convince me of that anymore.
I mean, the man is a con man. He's a con artist.
He's a con man who's going to he already conned the nation once. It's going to con the nation again. And it's going to come with an even bigger raft. And it's going to actually probably hit you this time. It may not have hit you last time, but it's going to hit you this time because it doesn't matter. Middle class is white, black, Asian, whatever race. And when he comes to give great value to high corporations, you're going to feel it.
Oh, he has many. That still makes
I can't no more. I can't no more. I cannot stay silent anymore about Trump. I've been doing it very good on this pod for the last couple of weeks and months. Please, I understand your Republican values, but please have some common sense for the love of God. Have some common sense. See what is happening. When he's out here talking about Russia as a favorite and North Korea, that should frighten you.
Yeah. I mean, and the fact that he's still running around talking about somebody stole an election.
And I'm not talking about MAGA gang. You guys will never see eye to eye. I'm talking about the reasonable Republican.
Yeah, there's still some reasonable people.
The reasonable Republican that just has certain political issues that feels the Republican Party represents them better.
But that man don't represent you.
He does not.
That man, like, if becoming a Democrat would make him popular and have money, he would do it in a heartbeat.
And I would change the independent.
I mean, he was a Democrat. Let's not forget that. I'm not saying that you can't change parties, but this man is he is fleecing these people for all that he can get.
It's like Aaron Burr, switch political parties.
Yeah. Because benefits you.
Yeah.
That's the only reason.
He has surrounded this party. And I feel bad for normal, common sense Republicans that this is the person you have to choose from.
And also that you have to deal with the cronies that followed him into politics, the Marjorie Taylors, the dumb one from Colorado. Remember when she was in session on that TikTok and the guy was like, girl, what are you talking about?
He's like, I was just asking you a question.
Right. What?
It's because she had a point and she didn't know what to do after that because he didn't talk about the point she thought he was going to talk about. Anyways, that's enough politics for this week. But I just, please, like, I understand. I value whatever you feel is right in the Republican Party for you. But I'm just like, this man doesn't represent anybody in this country besides himself and the extremists that follow him. And I've come to the determination that it's a lot. And a lot in my Latino community as well. Big. Elon Musk, you're on my shit list too, bro. I bought the car, but I didn't buy it because of you. Because I think you're a fucking shithead. You tweeted that Democrats want illegal immigrants to bring them into our country so they can vote. Sir, stop creating a false narrative that will now be picked up by the extreme people. America, we're not bringing in immigrants to vote. And if anything, what I have seen over the last 8 years is that many of these immigrants that are coming from Latin American countries are actually voting for you, for the extreme side. So it's not going to benefit the Democrats.
I just want people to do their own research. I want people to actually look at the facts, research the facts for yourself. Google is free. I don't understand why people still get catfished in this day and age. But
the show is still on.
Just think for yourselves. Like, there's so much miscommunication, misrepresentation, people just reading headlines and not reading a full article and just running with what they think what somebody else told them and going 100% at face value off of that and being completely wrong because you believe a lie. And that's one of the reasons why Trump is where he is, because he speaks like you speak. But at the same time, he knows what he's doing. He knows that he's manipulating you.
He's a con man.
I know. He's the greatest con man. He knows exactly what he's doing, and he gets away with it because no one has yet to hold him accountable for his actions.
Whole life. Never been held accountable.
And so I would never we got out of his first administration, and the damage has been done. Look at the Supreme Court. Look at lower courts. They have
not even take the courts out of the divisiveness that came from that election is deeply rooted and will never go away.
Yes, that is
factual. I understand what you meant about like the governmental damages he did. I'm talking about just like the hatred that has just grown amongst people with politics now. Like, there's always conflict in political parties, but never to what we're experiencing now.
Yes. On a podcast, somebody referred to it basically as that administration was a cancer that has now spread. And
we cannot.
He was like, I don't know if it's too late for this country to recover from it. Like, it has spread too far, probably, for us to be able to treat it, to put it into remission to where America gets back to where it was. So just that one presidential term has led us to this. Imagine what a second term could do. It would literally probably just destroy.
He is
America.
he's so prideful. He probably is going to do everything in his possible power to rectify the wrongs that he didn't get to do and fix whatever he wants to do now.
Yay, let's all look forward to November.
I can't. Like, honestly, if I was a Republican, I couldn't vote for him. I could not vote for him. I could not ethically and morally vote for him, even if I knew that party stood for something that was most important to me as a value. I just could not think of the present and the future and how much darker it could get. And I'm not trying to be like an extreme person of like scaring people. I'm just like, we lived through the 4 years. I don't know what that another 4 years would look like. And I don't, quite frankly, feel like I want to find out. Can we get back to the politics of Al Gore, Bill Clinton, Bush? You know,
it's funny
Ronald
to
Reagan.
look back on those times and be like, can we just go back to the...
And even though I almost said Ronald Reagan, and I know he had some very negative things in LGBTQ community.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know that I can take Trump for 4 years.
Oh, well,
Yeah, that's enough. I said it twice. That's enough politics.
we're gonna...
I'm sorry. We hope you've enjoyed this. Go back and cleanse your mind with Beyonce's
Some Cowboy
Carter.
Yes.
And lose yourself in her music.
Yes.
And you know what? Create a playlist. Put Renaissance after Cowboy Carter and just listen to that shit right through. You got almost 3 hours of mind cleanliness there.
That's the America I want to live in.
Yes. I will live with my headphones on.
Thank you so much for joining us on this episode. If you have feelings about either the Cowboy Carter, the Diddy, the politics talk, you can hit us up in our DMs on Instagram, X, other places. Use MASXP23 to find us. You can also find us on YouTube using the same thing. This Saturday, well, by the time you hear this, it'll be out. But the first vlog from Manny's birthday cruise will be out on YouTube. So be sure to go out and watch that. And if you have not subscribed to us, please do so, as there will be more vlogs to follow.
There will be. Did you tell them we have an email?
Oh, we do. We have an email as well. mannyandsean@gmail.com. MANNYANDSHAWN@gmail. So you can write us there as well.
Yeah. And if you follow us on Instagram, you'll see a text number or a voice message number. I don't want to bring it up right now. So I'll make you do the work. I did want to close out. We had done an Instagram poll, and I forgot to share this about Cowboy Carter. I wanted to see how many people were going to listen. And we got 62% said yes. 31% said no. Nobody threw shade at Beyonce, 0%. And 7% of the people shared their thoughts, telling us that they were going to listen. They were intrigued and interested to see what she was going to do in this album. So to that 31%, I know you may not like Beyonce. Give yourself you may find one song on there that you may connect with. I feel like everyone's going to find a song they can connect on there with.
I agree with that.
I mean, if you love Miley Cyrus, you really going to love that song. There's going to be so many people getting married to that song now.
Oh my God,
Beyonce's going to be the new diva of the fall country weddings. All right, y'all. As Sean said, thank you for joining us. We hope to see you on the next one. And as we like to say here,
do something good for yourself.
And then do something good for someone else.
Bye, y'all.
I think I'm going to go to bed early. That's what I'm going to do today.
Okay.
Because I'm still tired. My eyes hurt.
But first, we got to get some food.
No. Maybe I'll just go to bed hungry.
I'm not.
Just kidding. Bye, y'all. Blackbird.
Wanna